coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Bars and restaurants will no longer have occupancy limits, but masks and social distancing are still required. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jordan Berger. Thanks so much for joining us today. Boone County has been under a health order for a little over a year now after Columbia issued an emergency declaration back on March 16th of 2020. Columbia declared a mask mandate a little bit later on July 6th. And in the sixth issue on August 28th, bars were issued a curfew. On March 4th, restaurants and bars were able to resume normal business hours. Now, starting Wednesday, the new health order will take effect with even fewer restrictions. KOMU 8's Lauren Schwenker is live outside Columbia City Hall. Lauren, what can you tell us?
Jordan, the health department told me today that these new regulations will still require a mask and social distancing, and that this is not a free-for-all. In the previous order, only 10 people were allowed at a table and 200 people at large gatherings. This new order will start this Wednesday. The modified order starts Wednesday, as I said, and the changes include no occupancy limits for businesses, including bars and entertainment venues. Masks and social distancing are still required. No limit on group sizes at restaurants or bars. No capacity limits at child entertainment facilities. No capacity for sports fans at games. I spoke with a local doctor and asked if we're moving too quickly.
They've been following the data and they've been following closely the CDC recommendations. They've really generally been very much in line with that.
The biggest thing in this one is that social distancing and wearing masks are still required. Things have been loosened up as far as, limits for gathering sizes.
The chief medical officer that you just saw told me even if you've gotten your vaccine or have had COVID-19 before, that you still need to wear a mask. Live in Columbia, Lauren Schwenker, KOMU 8 News.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Now, coming up on KOMU 8 News at 6, we'll show you how businesses are reacting to those rolled back restrictions after being under a health order for over a year. Let's take a quick look, though, at the latest numbers. Missouri added 173 new COVID cases today, with the state having a little over 486,000 total. The positivity rate for the state sits at 4.1%. Currently, 12.1% of the Missouri population has completed vaccination. Matt?
Potential coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Matt, thanks. Now today, second doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were administered at a mass vaccination event in Cooper County. KOMU 8's Gabrielle Cohn talked to the county's health department about their changing plans to get more people vaccinated.
On Monday, almost 1,000 people received their second dose at the Isle of Capri Casino Hotel in Boonville. Gabrielle Cohn, KOMU 8 News, Boonville.
And Cooper County completed one low-scale clinic about 2 weeks ago at a local church. St. Louis man is asking Governor Parson for reimbursement after having to travel over 200 miles to get vaccinated. 68-year-old Michael Meredith was growing impatient after signing up on almost every pre-registration list. The only appointment that he could find was in Canton, Missouri, which is about 140 miles north of St. Louis. He made the 6-hour round trip for his first dose last month and is now requesting to be reimbursed $121 for the drive. Tomorrow, Meredith will make another trip to Canton for his second shot. A Columbia teen died after a car crash last night. 17-year-old Ethan Simpkins was driving on South Purdy Lane around 11:45 when he lost control of his car. Simpkins' truck was heavily damaged and an 18-year-old passenger was in the car but refused medical treatment at the scene. Both people in the car were wearing seatbelts, and excessive speed is believed to be a contributing factor to that crash. Construction started on the new Women's and Children's facility today. The building will be located on Hospital Drive near the central MU Healthcare campus. MU Healthcare says the new facility will also be more effective for patients. It's supposed to strengthen research opportunities as well. The project will cost $242 million and is expected to be completed in 2024. The future of the old building is uncertain. Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe announced today he does not want the Republican nomination in 2022 to replace Senator Roy Blunt. Instead, he said he will run for governor in 2024. Blunt announced earlier this month he would not run again. When Greitens resigned as governor amid criminal and ethics investigations back in 2018, then Lieutenant Governor Mike Parson became governor and appointed Kehoe as lieutenant governor. Well, tonight, KOMU 8's Megan Judy will moderate a panel with Columbia City Council candidates. They'll have the information you want to know about who could make decisions for our city. The event will be live streamed on our website from 7 to 8:30 tonight. President Biden is working on two of the biggest issues he's faced since being in office. Plus, how some Americans could see extra cash in their accounts this week. That's all coming up.
And here's a look at some of that dry air over central Missouri right now. That's going to continue until that rain tries to move in. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
And you're taking a live look over the Missouri River near Rocheport. The time is 5:06. This is KOMU 8 News at 5, coverage you can count on. Welcome back, everybody. Today, President Biden is focusing on the two issues he's been working on since being in office, the pandemic and immigration. And while there is promise with the COVID pandemic, the crisis at the border is growing and is threatening to become worse. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And as previously mentioned, President Biden will be visiting Ohio tomorrow and will focus on strengthening health care coverage through his COVID relief plan. This all falls on the 11th anniversary of the signing of the Affordable Care Act. Well, the next batch of COVID relief payments are on the way. A majority of this round's payments will be either in the form of a paper check or a prepaid debit card, with some being directly deposited into bank accounts. If you do not see an economic impact payment in your account by Wednesday, keep a close eye on your mail. You can check the Get My Payment tool on irs.gov to see if your payment has already been scheduled.
Our high temperature today was 67 degrees. That's well above average for this time of the year. Our low was 49 degrees. We're going to be only falling to the 50s tonight. Warm temperatures, but a slight cooling trend through the rest of the week. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Here's what's happening right now. In the last hour, the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services announced they will allow more qualified professionals to serve as COVID-19 vaccinators. Now, professionals such as dentists, midwives, podiatrists, and veterinarians can administer the vaccine. Also, students of eligible healthcare professions with proper training and supervision can serve as vaccinators as well. A large brush fire burned around 40 acres of land in Sturgeon today. The Boone County Fire Department received a call about that fire just after noon. High winds caused the fire to spread quickly. The fire made its way across Highway 63 at one point, causing the road to shut down briefly. The cause of that fire is still unknown, but crews are investigating.
And it's very common that when we have these dry days, and I think around Tuesday, we'll start to pick up on a bit of a drier pattern.
Well, the price is going up to maintain a house. After the break, we'll tell you why.
We'll examine the soaring cost of college, forcing some tough choices for parents and kids, and we'll have information and advice on navigating financial aid and offers. Also, how children of the Flint water crisis are confronting its legacy on Nightly News.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, warmer weather means it's time for home improvement projects, and the price of lumber is still way up. It's triple the price it was this time last year. A number of common projects require the use of lumber. The price of lumber began to rise last summer, reaching all-time highs. Now, this increase comes as a result of more private homes being built. Those numbers plummeted in the housing crisis of 2008, and one owner in the industry does not see the value decreasing anytime soon.
I think we're going to be in this situation for some time to come. We didn't get here just because of COVID. This has been over 10 years in the making, and I think we're going to be at these levels for some time to come because we've got a lot of ground to make up in the industry for home building.
Experts say the demand for lumber will likely continue because people do not want to let good interest rates pass. Along that same vein, the price of a home in the U.S. has jumped 17%, according to a new analysis from the real estate firm Redfin. This is the biggest increase in more than 5 years. The median price hit just over $330,000, and Redfin says the market is hot. The demand for houses is high, which is resulting in buyers purchasing at, quote, irrationally high prices. Well, you won't have to hear the buzzing of millions of cicadas while in Missouri, at least for now. Brood 10 cicadas are coming out from underground this spring for the first time in 10 years. But Missouri is not one of the 15 states where they live. Now, 2024 will be a different story. The also large Brood 19 will reach the end of its 13-year cycle that year. And the millions of those will be heard across Missouri. They will be the first brood due in the state since 2015. Not looking forward to that. We'll have one final check of your forecast coming up after this. Welcome back. Boone County modified its health order this morning, this time with fewer restrictions. KMU8's Lauren Schwenker is live in downtown Columbia. And Lauren, what changes will we be seeing starting Wednesday?
This morning, the Columbia-Boone County Health Department modified the health order. The changes include no occupancy limits or group size limits for bars and entertainment venues. Masks and social distancing are still required. No capacity limits at child entertainment facilities, and no capacity for sports fans at games. This modified order will start this Wednesday. Live in Columbia, Lauren Schwenker, KMU8 News.
Thanks, Lauren. Here's a look at what we're following for KMU8 News at 6. With Boone County's new modified health order, businesses will have less restrictions for the first time in almost a year. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from local businesses and how they feel about being able to fully reopen their doors. Matt?
Temperatures for tomorrow not going to move a whole lot. We'll start in the low 50s. We'll get to the low 60s in the afternoon. Those afternoon showers and thunderstorms could be on the strong side. We'll be watching that and keeping an eye on that. Basically, these storms could be interacting with the low pressure system. They could rotate a little bit. They could potentially produce a very weak, brief spin-up tornado. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on it here and on the KOMU8 Weather and Traffic app.
Definitely stay tuned. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a good evening.